Hey everyone, Once Bitten here at the Battle Report. So I brought my Bretonnians out again, facing a Lizardmen army. I actually didn't write this list. I can't take credit for it. One of the players coming to the USA Masters tournament, um, all the players submitted their lists. They're all open lists, and one of them, this one, was very similar to lists that I play. So I just grabbed it because I didn't really have time to put together a new list. And yeah, I thought I'd give it a go. My opponent's trying something interesting with the Lizardmen. Apparently, he's trying a 2 slan list, and the only way you can do that is if you really don't give any upgrades to your slan. I guess one benefit they have is they can kind of swap spells. So he has Lore of Life and Lore of Shadow, and can swap them back and forth, I guess. So kind of an interesting thing. So on the left, he's got a horde of Saurus warriors, and with spears, and he's got a slan with shadow magic. There's a skink chief attached to him, and he has a power stone. Then he has a unit of Temple Guard with the Slan Lore of Life. Now attached to them, to the left of this picture, you can barely see the guy's foot, is another skink chief, and he's got the Forbidden Rod. So what that is on one of his turns, he can activate it. He'll take D3 wounds, so he has a 2/3 chance of dying, but that adds D6 dice to your power dice. So it could be pretty effective. Between those two characters, it's an interesting thing to just make sure you have some a couple spells go through. Some skirmishing skinks in front. The models are just not there at the moment. They will be later. There's a unit of salamanders to the right. The skinks you see in the woods behind him are just the handlers for the salamanders. Then he's got, starting the back, a unit of skinks with the Croxagore. But those are not all the skinks. He has like 23 or 26 of them, and there's a single Croxagore. Some more skirmishing skinks in front of him, and then a unit of pterodactyls. There's another unit of pterodactyls on the far left. So, on the right, trebuchet. I've got a unit of bowmen, and they actually have a banner and a musician, but they're not flaming. They don't have braziers. A unit of fast cav up there, and they actually have a banner. 9 Grail Knights. They have the flaming banner. Then I've got 3 more units of knights. Knights of the Realm, Knights of the Realm, and then Knights Errant. Knights of the Realm on the right is slightly larger. I want to say there's 10, I think. They've got the Standard of Discipline, and I've had my general in there. Now he's got Heroic Killing Blow and the Heartwood Lance. Those are items I almost always give him. Dragon Helm is nice, so that he has a 1-up armor save. He has a Luck Stone, and I didn't list that here because I just forgot about it, but he has a 1-time reroll, and then he has Gauntlet of the Duel. So that is fantastic against a Slan who's hiding in Temple Guard, because if I issue a challenge, he cannot refuse it. And that is very, very nice. Then I've got a smaller unit of Knights of the Realm. Looks like I have 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 of them. They've got the War Banner. My Battle Standard Bearer's in there with them. He's got the Grommel Great Helm, so he has a 2-up rerollable, and the Worm Lance, which I never use, but basically it's a 1-time use only flaming attack. You can use only in the shooting phase, and after you use it, you have flaming attacks thereafter. So it could be versatile as a way of giving this character and therefore his unit flaming attacks. You just have to find a way to activate it at some point, meaning you have to shoot at something in the shooting phase. Next to them, there's a unit of Knights Errant. That's a nice big one, I think 14, with the Errantry banner. Then I've got my 2 spellcasters. There's a level 4 beast with a scroll. I like that. And there's a level 2 life. I would never go for level 2 life, because I don't understand. Life, I think, needs a lot of synergy, and I don't understand what benefits a level 2 does for me there, unless it's just to heal characters, in which case you don't care that the spells are that beneficial. You just want some spell going off so you can heal a wound with a lore attribute. Not sure what the reasoning was there. Then I've got 3 Peg Knights and another Trebuchet. Now 2 of my units are marked from the pterodactyls. I guess they can choose units, and then if they attack that unit, they get some bonuses. And so my Peg Knights are marked, and then my General's unit is marked. Now here, this is after Vanguard. He actually got to Vanguard first, and then I moved my Peg Knights where you see them, and actually made a huge mistake, because what I thought I was doing was making it so he couldn't fly and get in my flank and then be able to charge my trebuchet. That if he would either have to go somewhere else, or if he wanted to challenge me, he'd have to take a charge with my Peg Knights. But there's my line of sight. My leftmost model is kind of angled a little bit to the left, and so if you kind of straighten him out a little bit, I think that line is correct, and he can just hop right over that line. And I just felt so dumb. I was like, I just need to. I know it's just a friendly game, but it makes me angry with myself when I don't pay attention to details like that. Anyway, obviously he goes first. Doesn't move a whole lot. He moves his Saurus horde up a little bit. His pterodactyls fly very aggressively around my flank. There's my left flank, and me feeling very dumb. And here's my right flank. This one, it's kind of the same thing. I did this on the right side, though, to be honest. I wasn't thinking that he could Vanguard 12 and then fly 20, and I should have known that. And all I had to do was angle the Grail Knights a little bit to the right and just not put the fast cav there, and I would have been fine, but wasn't thinking about it. Regardless, Magic Phase, he gets Withering off on my General's unit, which I wasn't that concerned about. He got Curse of On here off on my Grail Knights. I let that one through. I didn't care. So on my turn, the Grail Knights just walk up 8 inches. The other units go a little bit further and end up where you see them. Now over here on the left, I did this really only because it was a friendly game. I think I had two much better options than what I did, but I wanted to see what would happen if pterodactyls charged the Peg Knights because I've never played against them before, and you can read a book all you want. I like to see it in action. So I made it to where he couldn't charge the trebuchet because if he tried to, his unit wouldn't fit between the table edge, so he had to charge my Peg Knights. Yeah, I just wanted to see what would happen there. I think a better thing to do is either fly them anywhere else so they're available later for redirection or something else, or line them up facing the table edge on the far side of my trebuchet so that when his frenzied unit charges a trebuchet, it has to overrun, and then I charge him on my turn, even if I have to wait for him to come back on the table edge or something like that. But I'm doing that to see how it pans out. Over here, we just plan on shooting at those pterodactyls, and that's what we're staring at. So we go to the Magic Phase. I go to cast a spell, and I roll 3 dice, and I roll 3 ones, and the Magic Phase ends. It doesn't end. I have a bunch of dice left, but my level 4 is done, and my opponent has more power dice anyway, so I say screw it. There's no spell that's worth a miscast, so I'm not going to get anything through. So I just throw my dice away, and I forgot to dispel Withering. Instance number 2 of the little things. So shooting, we kill 1 pterodactyl. Actually, my bowmen were on fire. They hit a ton, but they wounded a bit. But my opponent just made all his 4-up armor saves. But anyway, I killed one of them, better than nothing. One of my trebuchets landed a rock and killed about 8 or 9 of these guys, and that was very helpful. And we go to Lizardmen turn 2. So his skirmishers move up. Yeah, that's going to be rough, especially with those salamanders shooting on my general's unit who've already been withered, and he still has another Magic Phase. And he has this trick, which is very clever. So the one mage cast it last time. This time, he's going to swap the spell, so the other mage is going to cast Withering again while it's already up from the first mage. And I thought that's a very interesting little combination there. Pterodactyl's on the right obviously charge my bowman. He's going to just slaughter my bowman. And these guys charge in. During the Magic Phase, he activates the Forbidden Rod and kills the Skink Chief, but gets more spells. Now this was funny. So he casts Throne of Vines, and I throw all the dice I have to stop it because I'm thinking, you know what? If you want the other one to go through, you're gonna have to get Irresistible Force, and I want you to suffer the miscast. I roll like crap. He gets Throne of Vines up. He throws a lot of dice at the whatever spell he was trying to get. He gets an Irresistible Force. He rolls a 1, and so he suffers a miscast and blows up a bunch of his unit. He rolled a 7, so every model touching the Slan took a Strength 10 hit. I think it killed them all. So yeah, skirmisher shoot at the mounted bowman, my yeoman, and only kill 1. And with all the shooting, I lost some knights there, but overall, can't complain too much. Oh, and the spell that went through Irresistible Force was the extra Withering. I don't think he threw a ton of dice at it, but regardless, he got double 6s. But then he only rolled a 1. So I'm actually -2 toughness because there are 2 Witherings in play at the moment. So he did a lot of wounds, but I made a lot of armor saves, and it looks like that. This I was a little bit bummed out about. He really, all I was hoping to do with my trebuchets is get 2 or 3 shots each out of him. So when he hit the bowman, I figured he'd probably beat him and overrun. He killed all but 1. I mean, these guys, they do a lot more damage than it looks like they would. But he's frenzied. He had to overrun, and I was hoping he'd overrun so I'd be out of line of sight, maybe even off the table, and he rolled like a 3. So now he can just charge. And then my trebuchet failed its panic test, so it can't shoot on my turn anyway. Just everything went wrong on the right-hand side. On the left, oh my gosh, I did 0 wounds to him. It didn't help I failed my fear test. But he ate the Pegasus Knights. He killed every last one. I did 0 wounds to him. It was the most uneven matchup I've seen in a long, long time. Then he overran into my treb. I was trying to angle to where if he overran, he'd go in front of the treb, but it was close, and it just wasn't worth measuring it and stuff. So Bretonnian turn 2. So despite the fact that my trebs are going to go down soon, I just don't really care. I don't need trebs to win the game for me. What I need is to kill his slans, and I have a pretty good chance here. So I charged the Grail Knights into the Skinks on the right just to... actually, I take that back. They charged the Salamanders who fled, and they redirected to the Skinks just because they were so far away from the Skink Croc score unit that it wasn't worth going for. My General's unit tried charging the Temple Guard, mainly just so I can get in a challenge and try to kill a Slan. BSB's unit charges the other Skinks. I had to charge them to get them out of the way so my General's unit could go through. Or at least I thought I did at first. Anyway. And on the left, the Knights Errant charge the big horde of Saurus Warriors. I take 5 dangerous terrain and pass them all. That's got to be a first. So I don't know how it's going to go on the left. I charged them. I thought my choice mainly was I could charge him or I could just march up and let him charge me. I just wanted to make sure that if my General's unit made it into the Temple Guard and I didn't break him, that his horde of warriors wasn't going to go slamming in my flank. And I decided just to charge him because why not? He won't be steadfast and I should win. So Lizardmen are notorious for sticking around forever, and it's the bane of Bretonnia with their cold-blooded rule, but you never know. Yeah, there's the failed charge. I was kind of bummed, but sometimes things like that are for the best. And after combat, ooh, there's a big swing in the game. He did exactly 2 wounds to me. We did a ton of wounds to him. He was on Snake Eyes. So let's see. This one was his general. The other one is his battle standard bearer. So yeah, he didn't. He had a reroll because he was in 12 inches, but he needed Snake Eyes, and even with cold-blooded, it wasn't enough, and we ran him down. I rolled a 12, so I knew I was going to get him, and I would take it. If anything, it kind of pulled me away from the rest of the fight more than I would have loved, but I'm not complaining. That's a Slan down, a horde of Saurus Warriors. Absolutely, absolutely huge. In other news, pterodactyls killed a trebuchet. There was not much of a surprise. And after combat, the battle standard bearers unit easily won against the Skinks, but I didn't kill them. You can see what's left. He has 5 of them left. They're actually fleeing. I did not pursue because it wasn't worth getting countercharged, so I just reformed. Lizardmen turn 3. So his Temple Guard charged my General's unit. I wasn't really scared because I kind of wanted that. He may have beat me, but I think if he did, I would have gotten away with whomever was left, hopefully, and it would have given me a chance to kill the Slan with my heroic killing blow. But anyway, he failed the charge. Everything else looks like you can see it. He brought his Skink Croc score unit up so that my Grail Knights charge him. Even if I win, I shouldn't overrun into the Temple Guard. Yeah, pterodactyls are taking care of this trebuchet. And there's that. So I dispelled one of the witherings. There's still another one up. Bretonnian turn 3. So, yeah, I mean, charges are easy. So on the right, the Grail Knights charge into the Skink Croc score unit. They do a stand and shoot and actually kill the Grail Knight, which is just always kind of funny to me. What are the odds? Both my Knight units get into his General's unit. I kind of do a crisscross to get in there. I kind of had to because if I went straight ahead, it wouldn't work with the skirmishing Skinks there. But if I crossed them, it would work. So I had to cross them. And it worked out better anyway because my General's touching the Slan, so it's actually best. Knights Errant are coming around to see if they can help out. My boat yeomen are coming up behind the pterodactyls because they're going to shoot them to death. Or not. There's that. I'm really confident at this point of the game. Okay, I want you to try to wrap your head around this because I still can't. So I have a unit of 8 Grail Knights charge into a unit of skinks. I forgot that I could allocate on the Kroxigor, so all of my attacks went on skinks. And I did 4 wounds. I can't wrap my head around it. He did no wounds to me, even with the Kroxigor, who's like strength 1,000,000. I did 4 wounds. I still can't believe that. Anyway, that was disappointing, but if you look at the top left, those 2 night buses ran in there. I got Heroic Killing Blow on the Slann, killed a bunch of Temple Guard. I want you to know that that rightmost unit where there's only my BSB and my level 2, there were 2 knights remaining after combat, but when we pursued them, both of those knights failed their dangerous terrain and died. So I lost the knight unit because I failed 2 out of 2 dangerous terrain. I'm not going to complain. So after combat, after I killed a whopping 4 skinks, I reformed slightly to give me more attacks. Lizardmen turn 4s. I think he knows the game is lost, but he wants to see what these pterodactyls can do against the Grail Knights, so they charge in the rear. They actually don't do much. I think they killed a single guy. I think I killed 4 skinks. Again, I forgot to go against the Kroxigor, but this time I'm only strength 4, so I'm not as excited about it. I'm really just hoping to do enough wounds to win combat and force him to take break tests. But yeah, so I just kind of push. And at that point, we didn't even play on. I mean, he's got nothing left that can stand up to anything I have. So we just called it at that. Because I still had plenty left to do, and he didn't feel he had a chance. So yeah, that was it. I thought it was an interesting thing with the Slans. I don't know if that's just a lot of points. I don't know, and maybe my opponent just got unlucky in the magic phase, because the magic phase didn't really cripple me. He didn't get Dwellers Below, and I know he was bummed about that, and that certainly would have helped his cause. Pterodactyls really impressed me. I really surprised at how vicious they are, especially if they mark you with that token. I guess that's some kind of upgrade they get. So when they charge, they're frenzied, but when they charge in and you have that token, they get like D3 attacks instead of 1 extra frenzy attack. So it's like 2 attacks plus D3 each, and hatred. So just they are brutal against those units. So even against a ranked up knight unit, they would do quite a bit of damage. So anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.